Good morning Year 1 and welcome to Maths. We're going to carry on learning about fractions. So let's have a look at today's learning. It says I can recognise and colour the fractions half and quarter. And we've got our steps of success that I'm going to go through after we've had a quick reminder about those fractions. So in a moment you're going to see the fractions come up on the board, and what I would like you to do is join in with me by saying what fraction you can see. So let's have a look. This, if it was a pizza or a cake, would be one whole. One whole, and that's why we've got it in words, one whole. It's the whole thing. And the whole thing might be different shapes, like we've got there. And you can name those shapes if you want. So we've got a circle, a square, a rectangle, and a triangle. Okay, so fractions we've been learning about halves. Here you can see the circle is broken into two equal pieces. Two halves are the same as the whole thing. So if I ate half of my cake and then I ate the other half of the cake, I would have eaten one whole cake. And again, look, I can break that up into two equal pieces in lots of different ways. With a circle, I could put that going across in all directions, as long as it's in the middle and each half is the same amount. Okay, there we are. Look, there's half of my square. Well done if you recognise that. And again, look, I've gone diagonal this time. I've gone horizontal this time. That means the horizon going side to side. Here is my rectangle. Again, look, two equal pieces. Two halves make a whole. There's another one, look, the square cupped horizontally, side to side. Oh, showing you a little preview there, and there's my triangle. Okay, we've also learnt about quarters. Now, can you remember how many pieces a quarter is broken into? Or rather, how many pieces the whole is broken into to make quarters? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal pieces. And if you have a really close look, a quarter, this is a quarter here, 1 quarter, is half halved again. So it's half of a half. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's have a look. It says here 4 quarters make a whole. So you can see that in different ways. I've gone diagonally there, but still 4 equal pieces. 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 4 quarters. 4 quarters make up the whole. And there they are with our different shapes. Diagonally, we can go vertically, that means up to down. And we can go horizontally. As long as we've always got 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. Each of those pieces will be 1 quarter. And this time, look, if you have a look how I've broken up my cake, this time I've broken it into a half, 1, 2 equal pieces, and then this half I've cut into half again. So now I've got 1 quarter, 2 quarters, and this shows you here, look, that 2 quarters makes 1 half. So if I ate these 2 quarter pieces, I would have actually eaten the same as half of my cake. Here we are, lots more examples there to show you of 2 quarters making a half. And there again, look, 2 quarters, this is the same amount as that half there. This time, look, I've got 1, 2, 3 quarters. And if I was writing it as a fraction, I would say this is 3 pieces out of 4. Or I could say I'm showing 3 of those pieces where it's been split into 4. And you can see here, my cake is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, but the yellow part here is 3 quarters of my shape, or 3 quarters of my cake, if I was imagining it's a cake. Okay, here we are again, look, 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 3 quarters of my shape. 1, 2, 3 quarters of my rectangle. So let's have a quick quiz now. So you're going to see in a moment different fractions. I'm going to point to them, and what I want you to do is to say nice and loud to your grown-up at home how much that fraction is. okay, or what it's broken into. So let's have a look at number 1, which is here. What fraction can you see? Let's test your knowledge on those fractions. The shapes are broken into, I'm sure you got it, half. They're broken into 2 halves. This is 1 half and this is 1 half. And if you want to challenge yourself, maybe you can show your grown-up just how you'd write half. Okay, oh, what's happened now? I've broken it in half and in half again. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. We've got 4 pieces there. Each of them are worth what amount? We've got, should we reveal the answer? Oh, it's not letting me. We've got our quarters there. Okie dokie. This time, look, how much have I got here? How much have they broken into? Should we count them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, if it's broken into 4 pieces, we call those quarters. But let's see how many blue there are, which is what we're looking at here. We've got 1, 2. 2 quarters there. 1, 2 quarters there. And 1, 2 quarters there. Remember, we said 2 quarters were equivalent. That means the same as a half. So well done if you spotted that it was a half and 2 quarters. One last one there on our little quiz. We've got here 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Remember, 4 pieces. 4 equal pieces means they're quarters. And how many have we got in blue? 1, 2, 3. So our fraction is, say it to your grown up, 3 quarters. Well done. If you remember how to write that, we wrote that 3 out of 4. I'm doing it with my magic pencil in the air there. Okie dokie. So we've got different fractions that we have looked at today. And well done if you got those. So let's go back to today's learning, because we're going to be recognising and colouring in different fractions, those halves and those quarters. And there's a challenge on there where you've got a 3/4 one to try and spot as well. And we've got our steps to success to help us with today's activity. Success to see if we can recognise and colour in those fractions, a half and a quarter that we've just been looking at. So you've got 2 sheets to have a look at. Some have got the fractions as numbers and some have got the fractions as words. And let's have a look at what we're going to do. We're going to read the fraction. We're going to look at the bottom number, and that's going to tell us how many pieces we need to be checking it's broken into. Now if I look at it, my number here says 2. That's confusing, isn't it? Because if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, it's broken into 4 pieces. So I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces, and I'm going to do it with a nice bright colour so you can see. I'm going to colour it into 2 pieces there. So I've got 1 piece here and 1 piece here. So, looking at my steps of success, it then says, is it a half, is it a quarter? If it's broken into 2 pieces, we're cutting it in half. If it's in 4 pieces, we're cutting it into quarters. Now, look at the top number. This shows you how many pieces to colour in. So, going back to my sheet, I'm going to colour in 1 out of 2 pieces. So, I had to, I've lost my pen again, I'm going to just draw that back on for you. I had to cut it into 2 pieces. There's 1 piece, there's my 2 pieces. And I'm looking at my top number now to know how many I need to colour in. I'm going to colour in 1 of those pieces, 1 of those pieces out of 2. And if I colour that in, you will see that I've coloured in half of my shape. 2 quarters, but half of my shape. Remember we said that half and 2 quarters were the same. Okay, so let me go through those steps of success again. I've coloured in that number at the end. Number 1, I'm going to read the fraction. 1/4. I'm going to then look at that bottom number and check that it's cut into the right number of pieces. This is cut into 4, it says. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time I don't need to draw anything on because it's right. And I'm going to look at that top number, and that's going to show me how much of the whole I am going to be colouring in today. Because remember, we are recognising that fraction and colouring it in. So, last of all, when I found it, I will colour it in. So I'm looking at the top number. I want 1 of those pieces. Here is 1 of my pieces. Grab that pen again. And I'm going to colour in just one of those pieces. I'm just doing shading like that, but I'm sure that you can do better colouring in than me. And I've now got one out of those 4 pieces. What fraction is this? It's a quarter if you got that at home. Well done to you. So my first one, we had to cut into 2 pieces. That was quite a challenge, wasn't it? 1 piece, 2 pieces, looking at that bottom number, and I had to look at the top number and colour in one of those pieces in. Okay, so I'll do it one last time. I'm going to look at my, read the fraction, 1/4. I'm going to think what a quarter looks like in my mind. Look at the bottom number. That tells me how many pieces it needs to be broken into. 1, 2, 3, 4. Phew, we're right this time. I look at my top number. How many am I going to colour in? One of those pieces. And then I'm going to shade it in and check this is 1/4. Okay, so you're recognising quarters and halves. There is a challenge up my sleeve. There's always a challenge up Mrs. Denton's sleeve for you at home, where you've got a tricky one there, 3/4. 3 out of those 4 pieces. So today you are recognising and you are colouring in those fractions, 1/2 and 1/4. Hopefully our steps to success will help you, and I'm looking forward to seeing on Teams how you get on today.